is it worth spending that extra money to get the flagship bow? I'm gonna shoot these two head to head and see if it is worth spending a little bit of extra money. All right, so first up, we've got the VTM 31. We are set up at 29-inch draw, 70-pound limbs. The specs of this bow are 342 feet a second ATA. We probably won't be getting anything close to that speed, but we are going to shoot it through the chronograph and really see. It is 30 inches and 5/8 to axle to axle on this bow, so not quite exactly 31. You have a 6-inch brace height. The bow weighs 4.6 pounds, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. It does have this little stubby stabilizer on the front that adds a little extra weight. The adjustability is 25 to 30 inch draw length that you can adjust with these mods. You don't have to have a press, so that's really nice. You can get limbs that go from 30 pounds and then get some that go all the way up to 80 pounds. So that's the nice thing about Hoyt, is you have the ability to get up to 80 pounds if you're able to shoot that. The price on the VTM 31 is $1,349. So it is a flagship bow, has a good price tag on it. Feels good in the hand, looks good, is a pretty clean bow. But that Torrex up next here, this is gonna be your budget bow. So much cheaper. Right off the bat, the price is $799 set up here. It's a pretty sweet bow, especially if you are just getting an archery. The specs on this bow is 327 feet a second, so it's a little bit slower on the ATA speed. You're looking at 30 inches and 3/4 axle to axle, so it is roughly just a hair longer. You're looking like 1/8 of an inch longer. You have a 7-inch brace height, so you're an inch longer brace height. That's going to give you a little bit more forgiveness on those shots. The bow weighs 3.8 pounds. You can definitely feel it. It is really, really light. The draw length, you can go from 26 to 30 inches in the draw length, and then the draw weight, you can go from 30 to 70. With the Torrex, you can't get up to the 80 pounds, but honestly, if you're going to be purchasing a Torrex, you're not looking to get that 80-pound mark. We're gonna shoot the Torrex head to head with that VTM and just kind of see if it really is worth literally spending almost double to get the VTM. All right, real quick, I just want to let you guys know I do have a giveaway going on by purchasing a flag on my website, haxenhunt.com. It's a give back giveaway, so we're giving back to our veterans. The way you get entered in is by a flag on my website, haxenhunt.com. Each flag is an entry to win. There's only 300 entries on sale right now for $39. And what you win is a bow for yourself. You get to pick a bow of your choice, and then a second bow to give to somebody in your life. And on top of that, I'm gonna donate $5,000 to Wishes for Warriors to help get our veterans out in the outdoors and get experiences hunting, bow hunting, and everything outside. So anyway, thanks for supporting. Thanks for everybody that has joined in on the giveaway to be able to give back to our veterans. Really appreciate it, and we'll get back to it. We have the Torrex here. Balance, it's so light. It feels good in the hand. It feels like it balances really nice. It's got the older grip that Hoyt came out with. I can't remember the name of it, but it is plastic rather than the VTM has a rubber grip. I personally like having this plastic grip over that rubber grip. I just feel like you're able to adjust your hand at full draw a lot easier without causing torque on that bow. So this is set up at 29 inches, 70 pounds. Let's do a draw back. Okay, not a dump in the back wall, but it definitely has kind of an aggressive draw cycle. Got a decent amount of sponge in that back wall. Let off is good. Let off does not feel like it wants to jump out of your hand. So that is really nice. Let's draw that back again. It's a pretty solid draw. Like it's pretty comfortable. It's not the worst one by any means. Settles really good. Does have kind of quite a bit of sponge to it though. Let's shoot it and see how it feels. Okay, decent amount of like jump forward and hand shock on it. Not like too much, but enough that, I mean, it is noticeable. Let's shoot it again though and see.
pretty solid bow for 800 bucks.
Feels like it's shooting pretty solid.
It almost feels like it's heavier than 70 pounds on that draw weight, but it's probably just because it's not super smooth like the rest of them.
So add a stabilizer on that. I think it's going to make quite a big difference with the hand shock and jump forward, kind of kick on that bottom. Let's shoot that VTM 31 and just see exactly how it stands up against the Torrex. All right, so VTM 31 definitely has some extra weight to it, but the balance of that is, I feel like it would be a little bit more balanced. It does have stubby stabilizer on it, so that's gonna make that base quite a bit more stable. Let's do the draw cycle on this one. Make sure you guys can see the whole bow.
A little smoother draw, not quite as much sponge in that back wall. Let's shoot it and see how it feels.
Yeah, a lot less hand vibration. Not like, again, it's not like an intense amount on that Torrex, but if you're comparing these two, it's definitely more than what the VTM has.
Smoother draw. I feel like it doesn't dump in the back wall as hard.
I'm gonna take off the stubby stabilizer and just see kind of how that shoots.
Took that stubby stabilizer off.
A little bit more jump on the bottom of that bow, kind of just kick forward just a little bit. I do want to see what speeds the Torrex is getting compared to the VTM. So we are going to take both of these. We're going to shoot them through the chronograph really quick with different weighted arrows. I got a 440, 480, 500, and 520 grain arrow that we'll test these out on and see what speeds each of them are getting. Okay, first up through the chronograph is going to be the Torrex, and we're going to start with the 440 grain arrow and see what speed we're getting out of this. This is set up at 29 inches, 70 pounds. We're at 282, holy crap. It's actually pretty dang good speed.
Now 480 grain arrow.
269.
500 grain arrow.
263.
520 grain arrow.
260. So you are anywhere from 285-ish. So that one was to 260 with that Torrex. Honestly, pretty decent speeds coming out of that bow. Pretty surprised, honestly, with 440 up to 520 grain arrow. So shooting pretty good. Let's shoot that VTM 31 through the chrono and see what speeds we're getting out of that. All right, so now we've got that VTM 31 with the 440 grain arrow. Same setup, 29 inches, 70 pounds. 295, so pushing close to that 300 mark with that 440 grain arrow.
480 grain arrow.
280.
500 grain arrow.
274.
520 grain arrow.
269. So pretty similar speeds between the Torrex and the VTM 31. With that lighted arrow, VTM is shooting it quite a bit faster, getting to that 295 range. And that Torrex, what was it, 280, 285, somewhere in there, I can't remember. With that 440 grain arrow, both are shooting pretty good speeds. I'm not too worried about speeds that these two bows are producing. So we're gonna kind of do a few arrow group, just kind of see which one settles in on that target a little bit better and decide if it's worth spending double the money and getting that VTM. All right, so we're gonna do a 3 arrow group with this Torrex and just kind of see how it settles in on the target, see how it kind of feels. So we're gonna draw this thing back. Oops, I didn't get it. There we go, draw this thing back. A little bit more of a aggressive draw. Definitely a little kick on the bottom. A little bit of hand shock, like it's not uncomfortable. Just want to let you know in case you don't have the opportunity to shoot one yourself. I mean, for what it is, pretty smooth draw. It's a very light bow, so I'm not used to having such a light setup. My bow is very heavy, so I feel like it's almost kind of floating a little bit more just because of how light it is. If you add a bunch of stabilizers and stuff, it's gonna feel a lot better. That group is tight, so I'm gonna aim somewhere else. Yeah, super tight group with that Torrex. I feel like it does settle and it wants to just sit on target, but with how light the entire setup is right now, it just kind of floats just a little bit. But we're gonna kind of compare it to that VTM and see how this VTM is shooting against that Torrex as far as how stable it feels on target. I do have that stubby stabilizer still on the bottom, so that's gonna give it a little bit of an advantage, but I like to shoot them out of the box, kind of stock. I'll take 2 shots with it and then a shot without it, just to make everyone happy, because a lot of people want to see what it shoots and see how it shoots without it. All right, so first shot with the VTM. Sorry, went through the whisker. Biscuit, definitely quite a bit smoother draw. Definitely more dead in the hand, and it settles really, really well. I'm gonna take off that stabilizer. It's just, we're gonna do 1 with and 2 without. It definitely settles really well, but taking that off, you can definitely tell the weight difference. Let's do it again. I shot good enough that it crushed that arrow, so I'm not gonna aim in the same place as I did there. I'm gonna aim somewhere else. Just focus on how the shot feels. Very comfortable shot. They both have a pretty decently comfortable shot. This one is feeling a little bit better. This one is $1,350, $1,350, and this is $799, $800. So it is gonna be feeling a little bit different, a little bit better. But honestly, like especially if you're just getting into it and just like learning how to bow hunt and want to save a little bit of money, this Torrex, I would 0 issues taking this thing out in the field and hunting with it. I would trust this 100%. Feels good, shoots good, looks good. If you're wanting to get that flagship, money's not really problematic for you. VTM's a great option. I do really enjoy shooting that bow, but honestly, that Torrex, surprisingly, a lot better shooter than you would expect. So that is my thought and review of the Torrex versus the VTM. Appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting my channel. I just hit 10,000 subscribers, so I'm super pumped on that. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate all the support. Thanks to Humphreys Archery here in American Fork, Utah, for letting me come in, shoot the bows, get the information out to you guys. Here's a couple other videos for you to watch, and we'll see you guys next time.